Hold it in two hands. Rain, rain, go away. Well, I don't know about that, but we are here embarking on the next phase of building here. As you just saw a minute ago, my daughter's cutting out the base plate for the doorway opening, and she's doing a good job, I think. So, you're doing pretty well? Keep going. Keep going. She's scared of it, but it's okay. She'll get there. So we are here, and I know I have skipped. I want to do a kind of a housekeeping thing really quick before I continue. The first housekeeping thing is this. As you notice, we're completely out of order. We don't have anything in order right now. We don't write scripts. We just kind of do it by the seat of our pants, and that's just the way it is right now. We're not doing professional YouTube. We're not trying to do that way. We're just trying to get through kind of journaling this journey between my family and I as we build our own home here on this piece of property that has got a lot of things going on. And just to recap, we're doing a 3,300 square feet or so barn dominium shop quasi kind of thing here. And we are in the phases of right now of putting up some of our exterior walls. As you can see now, I do want to apologize. We kind of missed the whole step-by-step thing of the walls, but this is it. This is what we've got done so far. And what you see here is our deck down. Now, just to recap, we have 2/3 of our subfloor down. The reason why we have 2/3 of our subfloor down is because this area here, which is the last third of it, has to be left open because we have to put our headers in. And our headers, we need close access with our crane to lift these 8x8 headers into place. That's going to happen here next couple of days. Supposedly, it's going to be dry. I really don't know. That's what they say, but you never know. So we have actually a water problem right now. It poured last night, and my daughter here is getting rid of the bottom base plate of this doorway, one of our doorways, so we can take this water trapped in the plastic and dump it out on the side of the building. We probably have quite a bit of water there. As you can see, she's got a little bit of a puddle, and we don't want her to be crossing this in water. That would be a very bad idea. Electrocution on video would probably not be a very good thing. So let's do this. Let's do this. I think you're good, okay? You're fine.
It's still in the water.
No, it's not in the water. It's okay, go ahead. You're fine. Go ahead. All right, go ahead. Let's go. So anyway, she's got to cut this out. She's got to cut this out and get this out of here. And she'll be fine. She's kneeling on wood. All right, there we go. Anyway, like I was saying, what we're doing is we're doing our exterior partition walls. We're getting them up as much as we can get done. Then we can hang we're going to actually run out of things to do here. We have one more wall there up front and our one more rear exterior wall here. As I mentioned, these are framed in 2x4 framing, nothing fancy, kind of a moderate environment, climate, so we really don't care about a bunch of insulation here. It's kind of a barn shop, so we don't want to do any overkill with 2x6 or anything like that as far as being insulating. We have our 8x8s that we're going to put the headers on. Once we get these headers down, I just want to let you know, once we get these headers in, these 8x8s up top, then we can finish out our last third of our subfloor and continue the exterior framing, okay? Once we get that exterior framing up and we get our trusses in up here, then we can start to dry this place in a little bit as far as the roof. The exterior of our building, and by the way, just want to let you know something. This is going to be a tip. This is going to be a tip here. So quick tip. When we first framed these windows in, I basically looked at our home center and saw what windows they had available and sizes and said, you know what, I want to do something obviously not custom. I want to, because that's more money and you have to wait for them, but I want to frame it to something that they have in stock or can easily get. Well, I did do that. I looked at everything we had, all the options, the prices, and everything else, and then I framed them in. However, I didn't order them. Big mistake, big mistake. Because lo and behold, I go back 2-3 days later, and all those windows that I thought I was going to put in at the certain sizes that I had were mysteriously out of stock now. So I framed these prior to to ordering them. Tip here, do not frame in your windows until you have your windows ordered, because you could find out that, hey, I have half the windows in and the other half I have to wait 3 months for. You don't really know. The guy down the street is building his house, you know, he could be ordering a bunch of windows, just so happens it's the same size windows that you need. So what I did is, luckily, I got windows pretty close. I actually had to come back in here and raise the sill height and shorten the window up here, which was okay. I shortened this window up. It's actually okay for us to do that. So now I went back in and I reframed these windows to the right height. They're a little narrower than when they're supposed to be. So that's just a tip for you. Do not frame in your windows until you've ordered them. Anyway, that being said, let's take a quick look here. Oh, she's got her, okay. She's got the sill out here. Okay, so our doors, really quickly, this is, these doors are going to be barn doors, so we have some flexibility on the size, meaning we're going to make the barn doors in the shop here. So we're not really too concerned about the exact size. However, on the front, let me just take a walk real quick. By the way, these we framed in to the right height and the right size windows. These are 51 1/4 tall by 31 3/8 wide. So we framed these in. Now I want to point out something to you. This is for those folks who know about probably a lot more about construction. They may look and say, how come you have a header here and a header here? Okay, typically our headers only go on the load side, meaning we have our roof coming down, we have weight sitting here on this wall, so you want your headers here. These studs will put pressure on this header, so this does not bow. That's fine on the sides, but I also did it here. Did I have to? I did not have to. I didn't have to put a double 2x10 here because this is the gable end, which means that the loads go to the sides. They don't go to the face because the load is carried out sideways. So if you're not familiar with construction, you don't have to. I did it because of rigidity. I wanted it to be stable, particularly when we take a look over here on this door. This door, particularly here, what we have here is, this is the front, what you call the front barn door is the front door. I put it here in particular because of rigidity. Okay, if you have a door being slammed or open, or better yet, we have hanging barn doors. You're going to need a nailer to nail that track of those barn doors to something. So a 2x10 works perfectly. So it's not there for necessarily to carry the load. It's there to carry the track and to also make this rigid. Because if you have a lot of slamming of doors or opening of barn doors, it could cause this to flex. So we want this as rigid as possible. And you can see we have a double jack stud and king stud here, a single king stud, and this is pretty darn solid right now. So this door here is 8 feet tall by 6 feet wide. And I want to tell you another trick. This is another trick. When you're framing out your doors and you're not 100% sure exactly what you're going to do for your doors, let's say in a barn such as this. Am I going to make a barn door, or am I going to put in a regular set of doors? Am I going to go and buy a set of double doors from the big box store or somebody else? Like I think rustic.com has got some awesome doors. They're beautiful, they're expensive, and they sell them in all different sizes, but they're pretty standard. There's 8 foot height, typical 6'8" or 7 foot door heights. So what I did here is, because I'm unsure exactly what we're going to do, because barn doors have an interesting facet. They're great. You can build them. You can make them on site. That's awesome. However, the issue with a barn door is being weather tight. Barn doors typically, obviously, are not weather tight. Now, we may attempt that in the future, but I wasn't sure about that. If this is going to be a weather tight room in the future, if it's just going to be a barn, an open area for our shop tools, I'm not really sure exactly what we're going to do. So what I did is I framed this with the capacity of taking either a 8-foot by 6-foot wide door, pre-hung door set. I framed this to that width. Now you may say, well, that's great, Jim. You did it at 8 feet by 6 feet. No, I did not do it by 8 feet by 6 feet because that will not fit an 8-foot by 6-foot door, pre-hung door set. Pre-hung door set has 3/4 inch jambs, 1.5 inches wider. So I framed this 2 inches wider, 2.5 inches wider, at least, wider, and I made it taller. So if we choose to put a door in here in the future, we can go buy a door and put it in, or I can build slightly oversized barn doors. So when you're thinking about these things, you really got to plan that if you don't really know, you kind of got to compensate potentially for changes. And I'll tell you what, if you didn't frame this right in the beginning and you go to put a door on here, you're in trouble. You're going to have to cut the header out. You're going to have to get one of these beams out. You're going to have to take these one of these 2x4s out. It could be a real mess. So you really want to think about that before you go and frame. That's the other tip that I have for you. At least that's what I've learned over the trial and error, many errors at least. So anyway, this is our front door. And today you're going to see us, we're going to frame up this wall, which is exactly like the one over here. Same window, same configuration here. And we're going to frame this up here, and then we're going to frame the back with a window as well. We did have some changes back here, but I'm going to get back with you in a minute and kind of show you, after we got this framed up, what we're going to do back here. We had some changes. So anyway, take a look, and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so we had a pretty full day today. You may have seen we framed up the front, one of the last front walls there on the left side, getting ready to deck that out. And then we finished up back here, framing in our rear center wall here in the rear center section of the building. This here is, we were going to have our utility room over there on the left side of the building, but now we have kind of reworked it and we're going to put it in the middle of the building, and there's many reasons why. So we make an accommodation here. We put only one window back here, pretty high up, so we can have our freezers and washing utility room and our power and water filters and everything all in one room. It's going to be tight, but it should make it. This room is, again, about 16 feet wide by about 13 feet deep. And so we finished up with our framing here. Now we're kind of at a standstill in the sense that, as you can see, we started cutting our 8x8, the tops of our 8x8s up here. I cut this one to get an idea. It's going to take me a day to probably cut these all to the right size. And then what we're going to do is we're going to notch these out, okay? We're going to notch them out in half, so almost like a lap joint. And then we're going to put our header beam going across the top, and we're going to lap that as well and put through bolts through this to finish our headers. So we got to cut these all down. So I'll probably take care of that tomorrow. Cut down the beams, get that all cut, and then we'll get the beams brought out here. They're actually here on site, but we got to get them laid out, cut them all here on site, and then get our crane in here and lift them into place. So we'll probably take care of that next. But anyway, that was it for a busy day today. As with any channel, of course, the most important thing for us right now is getting everything organized and getting everything right. But you can help us out a great deal. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, hitting that subscribe button as well as that bell that notifies you when there's new content, that really helps us out a lot. We're trying to get this thing going, and we're pretty new to it, and we could definitely use your help in that process if you're getting anything. Also, if you want to make a comment or some question you may have, if I can answer it, we'll definitely try to answer it. But yeah, if you could do that for us, that would be great. Thank you.